Audio? I mean, I checked the mic's settings. It's all good right now, or?
I'm waiting for the delay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was gone.
It's gone?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good. Well. Huh? Okay. Alright, let's start this again, hey? So hi guys. I'm Matt Carter, and I'm one of the 3 members of Ragtag Studio, founding members. We have some other contract members that we have on the team. Going to be painting a character for Raise the Dead today, and we're going to be using the likeness of one of the backers, Shannon Harris, who is this fellow right here, and we're going to paint him as the character Bennett from Commando, the crazy badass Bennett. So this is my reference page, and I wonder how we should do the question stuff, because I'm distracted. Actually, I should see. Does anyone know in Twitch how to turn off my video so I don't watch the video stream, because it's distracting to me? Shannon Harris. Did I say Sean? What did I say? Shannon Harrison. Sorry, I'm a jerk.
Wouldn't you just look over here instead?
No, I know, but if I'm watching the the questions.
Just resize the window, I guess. So that
I know there's a way to do it, but whatever. All right, well that's good. Sorry. Anyways, so this is Shannon Harrison. And he backed at the $500 level, which allows you to get the likeness of your face transported into the world of Raise the Dead. So, viewer list, pop out chat, yeah. Viewer list, pop out chat. Well, that popped out my chat. Popped out the viewer list. All right, I won't mess with this crap anymore. I'll get going. People are waiting for the real stuff. All right. Yeah. All right. So let's just get going here, guys. So, I last night, to save you from watching me butcher Shannon's likeness for an hour and a half, I went and did this rough sketch that I'm going to be painting over today. And so how I've been working in recent times, in the last few characters I painted for Raise the Dead, I'll do this like full character portrait, and then we go back in and break it down into parts later on. I'm very familiar with how the characters are constructed, obviously, and so I know how to draw them, so that it's easy for me to go back in and break it down into its individual components. I also, so this is, I'm using this software called Krita, which is an open source painting app, which I really enjoy. This I have in this file a number of different template characters. You can see the punk character here, and I'm going to probably delete this stuff out of the scene because I don't really want it taking up space. Then this is just an old character outline. I'll leave that in there, just sort of for reference when I'm looking at the sizing of my guy. There's another couple of pointers that I look at when I'm painting a character here. I have this these markers for the mouth and the eyes. I kind of use that to make sure I keep the mouth and eyes in a similar location, because all the characters of similar type use the same animation setup. So, you know, you can see if I move this sketch over, that the eyes and the mouth, they match up, you know, close enough for how the system works. So they don't have to be perfectly aligned, which kind of is nice, because then they're, with the offset, they kind of take on their own individual look. So I'm gonna hide that stuff because we don't really need it. Then the other thing I have is a couple of character pieces that I use on all the characters to speed up the process of filling in the eyes, because it's sort of, they want them all to be the same look. But where we got here? Alright, so yeah, just shout out questions, Sean, I guess. That would be the best thing. I mean, I'm happy to answer any questions, so just kind of let me know. Alright, so how I work with the characters in Raise the Dead. Sometimes I'll do a straight up sketch like you guys see here. Or, I mean, I always do a sketch beforehand, but sometimes I'll do it real sketchy in a solid color with a more sketch brush, or I'll use oopsie, I'll use a solid brush and just I don't know why it's kind of garish, but I use this red, just a red, because it just helps me see the lines better. And so I'll do a drawing with just this kind of real bold color. We'll have to see if this stream is messing up my drawing. Okay. So once I have my sketch, I'm going to go in and start outlining the different parts. So I typically try to keep my character file very organized, or at least fairly organized. So what I'm going to do is create a group layer, and make some children layers underneath that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing in the outlines for the head, tracing over the work that I have. So, yeah, this stream is sort of messing up my strokes. You see me undoing them quite often. Partly that's just how I work, and then partly I feel like I'm getting a little lag with my input here, so my brush strokes are not so good. So what I'm going to do is, after I get done outlining the various parts on the character, I'll go in and start coloring in the lines. Actually, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I might turn off my camera. It probably doesn't help to have to see me really anyways. I'll probably just do that. Can you guys hear me still? I'm afraid that I might have turned off the audio. You guys hear me? Alright, so I'm guessing that we're good still. Good, thanks. Yeah, if we do this again, I'm going to probably have to draw it at a lower resolution as my machine is kind of choking. Screen resolution, I mean. So I'm using this software, Krita, which I really love. It's, I guess, you know, I'm kind of a huge fan of open source software. I don't think all open software is worth using, but I like what the open source community stands for. And I like the idea of source code being available to people to modify and change for their own use and benefit. Plus, I just think there's some really great tools out there. I use Blender for our characters in the game, and a lot of the environment art stuff we do in Blender. Not all of it. So I think before I started using this software, I was going back and forth between a few different pieces of software. I was abusing the GIMP, which is not so awesome. I don't think. I'm happy not to have to use that anymore. And I was bouncing between the GIMP, Photoshop, and a software called MyPaint, which I think is really awesome too. But it doesn't provide the sort of wealth of features as this one does, so I don't really use that one anymore. So one thing I just realized that I want to do here is I want to separate the mouth onto a different layer. Because when we're done, I'll make a couple of different mouths as the characters in the game have a bunch of different facial poses, so they can talk and emote. Yeah, I was happy to be able to back the Krita Kickstarter. Definitely, Blender has been doing kind of crowdfunding of their software since before crowdfunding I think was a thing. They've been pre-selling their videos on how to use Blender in their open movies, which I think has always been a really great way to promote their software. Oh, I just realized I'm drawing on the wrong layer. I guess I'm going to put the eyes on a different layer too. Yeah, it's super exciting to know that we have such a great musician on board for the game. Really is fits the style of our game, the stuff that Jake does and is capable of. I mean, when we heard the Double Dragon Neon soundtrack, it was sort of like instantaneous, like, oh my god, we need to contact this guy. Oh, golly gee, I did it again. Uh, let's see. Let's see, I'm going to go to my reference here. Let's see, I can make this on top. How do I do that? I know that's in here somewhere. Alright, well. Okay, forget it then. Mm. I love this feature. I know that Photoshop has it, but I never got. I didn't never really got the hotkeys in Photoshop the way I do in here. I guess I have my custom keys set up, but being able to rotate the canvas so dynamically is awesome. And that's also a fairly new feature in Photoshop as far as things go. For many years, it was something that people just wished and hoped and prayed for Photoshop. I know that I always wished that was going to be a feature. There's also a mirror, really easy way to mirror the image, which also was not part of Photoshop for a long time. I think it is now. It helps to mirror back and forth to see if there's some sort of weird proportional problems with your drawing. You want it to look right facing both directions, especially in Raise the Dead, because our guys are going to be turning left and right, and that's going to be, you know, it's got to be valid for both sides. And it's interesting how when you're painting something, how it can look correct from the view that you started painting it from, and you get so used to the way it looks, and when you pop it over to the opposite side, you realize how, oh my word, it totally looks wrong. And it's amazing how that happens. So, looks like I got the head almost outlined, which is awesome. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in the eye color right now. So, I'm going to duplicate this layer. Chug-a-lug. My word. Okay, there we go. Oops. Alright. So I'm gonna resize this guy so it generally fits here. And wait. Okay. Let's try that again. Come on. Having some problems here. All right. RJ Combo, how you doing? How you doing, Rob? Rob's my old buddy from Activision in California. Let's see, where was I at? Oh, yes. Trim these eyes down. So I usually designate a layer either line, lines or color, depending on the function, so that I can tell which is which. All right. Alright, so I'm gonna start blocking in some color here. Who's hero? You got me wondering who we're talking about here, Mr. Singing Phoenix. Okay, that guy just took off. I don't know who that was. I like the name though. Phoenix is my daughter's name. And she's singing right now, actually. She's singing. I can't hear her. I can hear her in the other room making sweet little baby noises. So I don't know if there's anybody new in this room, but I thought I would mention again that I am painting a character based on Bennett from Commando. And who's this guy here? Hanging Arnold. So that's Bennett, the crazy bad guy. And we're using the likeness of our backer Shannon Harrison for the face. He Shannon backed at a $500 level, and that gets your likeness in the game. It was very cool. It's always awesome to be able to connect with people on that level where we can get their face in the game and have that kind of participation. I don't think we've given a real shout out to our backers, I guess, yet. It's really want to say thank you to everybody, actually. It's really been an amazing journey so far. Really exciting. It's hard to believe that we're already almost funded. Um, so, thank you. I, yeah, we're all very appreciative. It's one of those things. Kickstarter is kind of one of those awkward things because, I mean, it's very humbling, I guess, is what I was looking for is the word. I'm not too good with the words. It's very humbling because, you know, it's the fans who are, reaching out to help us get our game done, and that means a lot to us. Um, yeah, it's interesting. How many more people are backing us right now? I don't know. I feel like that was one of our biggest problems was that we just didn't get in front of enough faces. But at the same time, we had some really good Let's Plays that happened, so we don't know. Jessica, dearest wife of mine. Hey, Christopher, could you do me a favor and have Jessica put this in the microwave? My coffee was frigid. I just gave it to Christopher. Could you go warm it up for me, please? Okay, Chris has got it. What? Oh, singing Phoenix was my daughter. That's awesome. Actually, I want to have her on the stream, actually. She's so awesome. So. Oh, I see what you. I didn't quite understand what was going on there. Well, I'm kind of slow. Well. Hi. Hi, Phoenix. I heard her singing. Hi, honey. You want to say something to the crowd? I'm wondering. Yeah? Alright. Alright, let's see now. So, after I get all of the base color laid down and the lines drawn in, I will go in and color in my lines. So what I'm going to do is pick the skin tone and then got a darker version of that to do the head. Oops, where are we at now? Thank you. What is going on? Of course. So I wanted to thank my buddy RJ Combo for his support on this project. Rob has actually done a lot for us. When we were in California, about 2 years ago, showing the very beginning of Raise the Dead at Indiecade, I believe it was, Rob put us up and let us. Was it Indiecade, guys? Yeah, it was Indiecade. Rob, 2012. Rob put us up, and that was really great. This those sorts of times when it just means a lot to have that kind of support from friends and family. And Rob is also kind enough to back us at $50. Really appreciate that. Rob is also an awesome game designer who works on League of Legends, which you guys may or may not have heard of. I kid. Yeah, well, Rob, game development is kind of stressful at times. So we were on a real tight deadline, I think, at that point. Tensions were running high. No, I don't want that. So I got this feature is a very useful feature in Krita. This button up here, it's Protect Transparent. Now, I don't know that Photoshop has this feature. It's a global switch to protect all transparency on all layers. So Photoshop and as well as this program have the ability to protect the transparency of an individual layer. But this global switch is much more useful, and I have it set to a hotkey, but I don't know what that is right now because I'm not using my typical setup. So I can turn that on and off, and I don't have to switch it on an individual layer level, which I think is very useful. What that allows me to do, if you guys who aren't familiar with graphics, I should point out what that means, is it means I can paint these lines, I can color in these lines without going outside of the lines. It's helpful for sloppy idiots like myself. So I can just yeah, Tremlock, you don't know what League of Legends is. You have no idea. Rob, we have a real, I'm sure there are many fans of League of Legends around Raise the Dead and maybe in here right now, but Tremlock is a pretty big fan. Let's see. All right, let's stop being so distracted here and start doing some more coloring. Let me make another group layer for the eyes. And so I have lines, and I'll make a color layer now. And actually, I'll drop these guys in there. Okay. All right. Well, that's exciting. You've been doing R&D stuff. I like the sound of that for different reasons. It sounds exciting. Plus, it means that your guys are doing some good, something different. Actually, all right. Oh, here comes the part that I enjoy the most, which is doing the shading. Let me fix this up here. Wait, what? What are you doing? Oh, that's lying eyes. Okay. One of the things I really like about this software too is the right-click menu for brushes and colors and stuff. You can set your favorites up in this radio menu. So what I'm going to do is start roughing in my color. We sort of have a very simple lighting scheme as far as the colors of the characters go. It's sort of this kind of generic over the head 3/4 lighting, sort of non-directional, so that the characters look good from all angles. I'm using a Wacom tablet. I actually have a digital. Let's see if I can actually show you guys my other cool thing that I like to use. I'll turn on my video capture. I think that will be cool for a second. Hi! This right here is my tablet that I'm using. Let's see now, point my camera over here. And I can show you guys my digital easel. That's what I call it. My digital easel. So this is a convertible laptop with a Wacom pressure sensitivity on the screen. And I'll usually draw on this guy when I'm just doing straight up drawing. And I built this holder for it and connected it to a video camera easel, or tripod, I'm sorry. So I can go, to the coffee shop and set up and be really embarrassing, hang out by myself because no one wants to be around a guy who has a digital easel. It's the nerdiest thing ever. Maybe not. Anyway, so I'll turn this off. So, but I really like that a lot, and something else that I'm looking forward to showing off a little bit more in the future is well, I use this little guy here. I'll show you again. Where did you go? So when I'm using my digital easel, I use this guy instead of a keyboard to do keyboard shortcuts. I have a software called Joy2Key, and it's an amazing piece of software which translates controller inputs into keyboard commands or mouse commands. And so you have all of these, the directional stick, the buttons, the D-pad, everything sort of hooked up to keyboard commands. So when I can take my, I don't need a keyboard. I just hook my hand like this, and I'm doing I'll draw with this hand and then do my keyboard commands just with this, so I don't have to have a keyboard. That's pretty cool. You're hearing double mic now? That's probably because I have the video on, so I'm going to turn that off. Thanks, yeah, I turned that off. At least I'm not writing my novel at Starbucks. Yeah, with tears. Drinking my own tears. Well, someday, Rob, I definitely would love to hear about what you're working on. Whenever you can tell a friend a secret. Which will probably be never. Because I know probably over there you get shot, drawn and quartered. Oh well. That's to be expected. I'm familiar with that, you know. Let's see. So I don't like this color of this outline. It's too orange, so I'm gonna have to go in there and change that. It's kind of gross when I see it with the coloring in there. This is too black. Alright, let's go in and fix that grossness. Alright, let's try that. No, it's not dark enough. That's pretty good, but it's too close to the color of his skin. Oh, hell. Right. Cool. So I'm gonna start moving on. I mean, I'm not done, but I'm gonna move on to. I'm gonna start doing the hair a little bit. I'll rough that in. Um, well, nice. So one of the things about doing, I guess, art professionally is just becoming proficient with the tools. And really just kind of building a setup that keeps you productive, and really have got this software and Blender kind of customized to where I'm really feeling like productive, like the hotkeys. You have to really learn the hotkeys of a software in order to sort of be able to function as quick as possible, I guess. Otherwise, you're kind of picking at menus all the time, which I try not to do. Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming when you have so many different combinations to remember, but let's see. Oh, I got this on the wrong layer. Shoot. So, gotta go fill in his face. Cool. So is there anything? What's up? Mm-hmm. 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 Very good. Very good. Well, what I'm gonna do is, I know I can get that in the screen. I have enough room to get that up here all the time. So let me do that. Good idea. Good idea, my man. Usually I work, I have two monitors. It's just a very efficient way to work. So we'll, like I mentioned earlier, have reference images on a separate monitor, but for this we'll get it set up so you guys can see what I'm looking at. And this software has a built-in crash feature. That sucked. I'm using a development build of Krita, and that was an awesome crash. Oh, use OBS. Yeah, I guess I'm very unfamiliar, so I think I know how to do it now that you mention it. I can add I'll probably add a source, huh? Let's see if I can do that. Hopefully, oh, autosave, I love you. Yes, please. Alright, I'm gonna try this OBS, adding a source. I think I know how to do it, guys. Add window capture. That's what I want to do. Window capture reference. I'll call it C. Oh my god, I can't type. Nice. Well, okay. So let's see how this app works when I resize. Okay, sweet. Sweet. Now I gotta figure out how to position it on the screen. Oof. Wigging out there. I don't know. No. Okay. Oh, here we go. Position and size. Move to the right edge. That's where I want to be. No, I don't actually. This streaming software is really cool. If it's an image file, just use add image. Oh, well, that's cool. Let's see. You guys are so much smarter than me. Image. Well, there it is. Okay. Well, this will allow me to go back and forth between my reference images, so this is good. I think that's fine. I'm gonna just leave it that way, and then I can just switch back and forth, and you guys can see it when I switch. I think, assuming that that works. I don't see it updating. Okay, it's updating, I guess. Slowly. Alright, let's get back to this thing. Alright, so you guys, as I mentioned before, this face is kind of the caricatured likeness of backer Shannon Harrison, and I'm getting ready to move on to a different part of the character so that we can, I'll come back to the face later on, but right now it's getting to the point where I can do something else. Alright. Where do we got? Where is his eyebrows? Way down here. Oh, it crashed, that's right. Oh man, it crashed, that's right. Shoot, stupid crashing. Ah, man, I lost a little bit of work. I forgot about that. Damn, his eye holes are back. anybody else lose the feed? Yeah. Screw that Tremlock guy. Oh. I shouldn't have said that on the live stream. Dang it. I was saving the file because I was working on a backup. Is there anything ridiculous you guys want me to talk about? I realize that I'm not the most entertaining person to watch paint. Is there actually 40 people watching? That's cool. Or at least I know. Or at least there's. I know. Well, it's fine. That's fine. This is what I do, so it's. I'm not doing anything I'm not uncomfortable with. I have my pants off, so I'm feeling kind of loosey-goosey, you know. Yeah, guys, voice your own character for the game. That would be awesome. I don't know if you guys have heard the character voicing that we had in the last demo. It's really fun. It's this sort of gibberish that the characters speak. That's barf. Right there, that was barf. Alright. So just want to show you guys that we're doing subsurface scattering in the game. See that? I'm just adding a little high-tech rendering right here on the edge. It's, PCs are very capable of that right now, and PlayStation and Xbox are finally becoming able of rendering our awesome subsurface scattering. See, I'll just put a little bit of light down here. Ooh, yeah, ooh, ooh. It's high-tech. It's a little bit of light bouncing through the surface of the skin, making it a little warmer. Oh man. We're getting 60 frames a second, baby. Yeah, Chris, we're going to have to do game night. Looking forward to that for sure. I keep promising them I'm going to set up a Terraria server and you're going to have to jump in with us. Oops, I don't have that lock on. Alright, so usually what I do is once I get the skin tone mostly roughed in, I will go in and pick an airbrush and sort of smooth out the skin a little bit because I want it to look a little nicer. So I'm gonna usually turn off some of the facial features here and just to kind of go in and clean it up a bit, smooth it out. You'll notice that around the mouth area, I try not to do too much in the way of specifically defining features because the mouth moves around the face when it makes different expressions. Alright, well, let's move on. I think let me quick get this underside of his eyes there. Oh, and his mouth. Alright, so cool. Yeah, I'm starting to get distracted by all the ideas of money and fame and power this job is gonna bring me. I don't know why everyone's laughing. Oops. Okay, I gotta stop. Alright, this is great. I think this is really looking awesome. I think what's really great is, Shannon backed at the level where he gets his face in the game. And I think I'm going to try to do this with the other people who backed at this level, but they we matched him up with a character body that we thought would be good. So this Bennett character, I think his face really goes well with the Bennett, body and look of Bennett. What was that? Yeah, I am right now. So I think that it's fun. I think we're gonna try to do that with the other people who backed at the $500 level. All right, so now I'm gonna move on to getting the body done. Oh shoot. Sean or somebody, could you guys get me a glass of water, please? So again, I'm going to start a new group for the body. I usually, when I'm doing these sort of portrait renders, I'll do a group for the body and a group for the arms, and maybe the legs, but depends, because I don't necessarily break it down as much as the character will be broken down in the game. Let's see, so I have 2 layers, lines, really I could just duplicate these and just rename this one. Here we go. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I've seen that Counter Spy game. It's really nice. Very good art direction. Looks fun. So I'm going to probably go back in with my red brush. Start blasting out the eyeballs. I guess I'm going to go in here. Let me see. Where did we go? All right, I'm going to open up one of the character textures so you can see how the characters look as they go into the game. So you can see how I break them down. This will be a good one. Red Diamond, you fell asleep. How could you? It's raw excitement up in here. Right, so here we go. You can see how the characters break down. This is the main body of the character, and he has his front, head, back, front and back of all the body parts. Up here is the forearms. Down here is the upper arms. The various hands. We have, for the basic character, there's a front and back of each hand, and then there's a fist front and back for each hand. Then you can see down here we have the 3 different eyes styles that the characters have. And there's the blink, the standard, and then the emotion. I call it the emotion eyes because characters may, whenever they display an emotion, it can be anger. Depending on the character, they'll always either be angry or sad or scared. But within these eyes, we can scale them on the face of the character to add more of a range of emotion to the character. And then over here we have the mouths, and then so the mouths are mouth, regular mouth, which is this guy, closed, and then open. And then for a number of the characters, at least right now, probably all of them are going to have these variations. We call them hats, right? I guess they're called hats right now. Not we. I guess I call them hats just because that's what they started out as. But these are the different head styles that this character can have, and you can see also in here the sprites for the attack, the weapons this guy has. So what I'm going to do, like I guess the reason I was kind of showing you this is I keep this breakdown in mind as I'm painting the guy, and I also know how the shapes of the arms work, so that while I'm painting him, I keep that all of the shapes sort of similar to how they'll actually be as they go in the game. So we won't have to do a bunch of repaint. We just cut out the parts and paste them onto the sheet and rearrange them and fill in the blanks where there's holes. So that's kind of how it works when I paint this way. So I can probably hide his head so he can. Sometimes I'll even, like, I will go out of my way to do more painting than you'll actually see, just for the sake of completing the character sheet. So in this particular painting, you won't actually see this part of the guy, but when we break it down into a texture, this stuff will have to be there. So I'm just going to add it now. Except I added it on the wrong layer. That's stupid. Sometimes I go a little crazy with that. Managing all the layers and the characters is a little crazy. It's a little overwhelming. So I will do this. What happened? Nice. Chris just informed me that we got an article about the game on Indestructoid, which is cool. Love those guys. I'm going to actually make another layer group for the right and left arm. I'll show you actually on this. You can see that, and this is actually kind of simplified because when I break it down into a texture sheet, I kind of collapse some of this stuff. But you can see all the groups that I have for the different body parts. And we got stuff like what do we got it? Oh, there's another character. Oh well. Move that out of the way. Crocodile Dundee type character. Yeah, I mean, we have, we have a lot of characters that we'd like to get in there. It's just sort of what ones are the coolest that we have time to make. So, that's a really good suggestion. I mean, actually, it's funny how many different things have gone through my head in the amount of time that we've been working on this game, and like how you forget, like, because actually, Crocodile Dundee was there's a specific scene in the game that I wanted to get in there, and then I actually kind of sort of forgot about Crocodile Dundee as a character, which is sort of weird. Interesting. Okay, weird. Some weird UI bugs in this software right now. The selections don't update necessarily when you use the hotkeys. So I just switched to this tool here using a hotkey, but it didn't update from the brush tool. It's kind of weird. And I just switched to the brush tool and it didn't switch here. So that's a little weird. That's new. I just installed this yesterday, which was not really smart of me to do. But I do stuff like that. I'm going to use beta software right before a stream. That's a really good idea. Hi, Pull Box Mike. I don't know the moniker. I'm sorry. Which mic are we talking to? Oh, crud, right. Yes, with the interview. Your mom. Don't let Anna in here while your mom is in here. Hi, Mom. How are you? Thank you for being so generous. A little Phoenix says hi. I know that's why you're here, aren't you? Just to see Phoenix. I'm going to get her on here again. Oops. Of course he did. I'm just kidding. Yes, Elle and Mama, you are the mom we are referring to. One of our many ragtag moms. I enjoy drawing these kind of character portraits at times because I can be a little bit more freeform with some of their details. Like the hands are really fun on this guy. I really like it, the way that they're turned out. And the characters' hands in the game are a little bit more rigid. They're basically all the same because of the way the game works. So we don't have to draw a bazillion hands. I sort of have hands that kind of work for all situations, which makes them a little bit more kind of stale. I shouldn't say stale, but they're very kind of more. They're a little bit more generic looking. so that they work in more situations. See, I'll switch back and forth to see how it looks. Looks good. That's not a knife. Well, that was a very long process coming up with the name for the studio. I mean, we had lists and lists of names. I don't remember the day it happened, but that was a name that Chris came up with, I believe. I mean, it's just sort of trying to come up with a name that means something. I mean, we went through every name in the book, and there was a lot of names that we thought were pretty cool, but then they had already been taken, and the ragtag just sort of obviously has meaning to us, and it fits as an indie studio. So I mean, there's not too much of a story behind it, I would say, just that we spent a lot of time thinking about it, as I'm sure most studios do. It's strange how much time something like that can take, or at least how long it can take to figure that out, to come up with that perfect name. I mean, maybe the other studios like, oh man, they immediately knew. I guess we definitely weren't that studio, so I'll be honest with you guys, that's for sure. It was lists and lists of names that we went through. Oops. What the hell is that shark knife thing? That's redonkulous. That's terrible. God, love it. That is just terrible. Alright, let's see. Alright, so I wonder if that person with that knife is a Texan. I almost think that it has to be. Or someone from Louisiana. One of the two, I think. Crazy Southerners and their knives. My neighbors, I love them. They're like my second family growing up. They were just hilarious with their guns and their knives, I swear to God. My buddy always had some kind of crazy Klingon knife or a machete or a bullwhip. His dad always had some crazy guns, and they're from south. I'm actually forget where they're from. Maybe Florida. I'm not sure. So what do you guys think? What should we have here in this medallion? I'm trying to. This is like a dog tag, but I'm wondering if there's something else that we can put in here that would be kind of cool. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what movie I just saw recently where the dude had a razor blade around his neck, and I kept waiting for him to die by the. Oh, it was Kill Bill. It must have been Kill Bill, Volume 2. That's what it was. I just kept waiting for that dude to get someone to kill him with his own razor blade on his neck chain. Didn't happen. Should link to Luke's Bandcamp page. Let's see. I'm thinking about doing a stream where I do some work on the characters in Blender, so you can see how the characters are built and animated. I think that's pretty cool stuff. Sean thinks it's kind of funny because we do some crazy stuff to make it work with Unity. It used to be pretty cringeworthy, but we fixed it up a bit. The other thing I like to do, I mean, not just me, but it's a fairly common trick, or not trick, but technique, is in your software, a light bulb medallion. Well, that would make sense if he was a good guy, but he's probably not a good guy. He's going to be a bad guy. So what you can have is a duplicate view of your character. I will just kind of demonstrate here because I'm not going to... You'd have this on the second screen. And so I can view my whole character and this one on the right, while at the same time I'm kind of zoomed in, drawing over here. Oops, how did that happen? I don't want that. Got them swapped around. Doesn't matter. So you can see the character updating on the right as I draw on this guy on the left. Sweet. Alright, well that's mostly good. It's a little rough, but not too bad. I can start blocking in some color, I guess. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll just use a solid color and just block in the whole thing. Oh, I guess that's alright. Or I will go in with my lasso tool, which is kind of probably a better idea. Okay. Barf. Barf. Alright, that was dumb. I'm also gonna like I mentioned, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the back here of this drawing, or underneath his arm. So he's got the gun holster, the gun, smelly armpits. Ugh. Close this guy. Oh man, I kind of wanted to play that game. It looked really great. Maybe someday I'll get around to it. I think that, I mean, the stuff that they were doing, I just watched some video of it and it looked, they did so many funny things to capture that like kind of 80s feel. Very good. It's so cheap, I should just get it because, yeah, I really should, see what they're doing. If they're doing anything super clever as far as the reference goes that I need to steal. Alright, sweet. Hello. Did he see, when did he start? Did he see like what I painted earlier? Oh, did my sound go? Oh, okay. Did my sound go away? I don't know how loud to be. And I'm typically a very loud and annoying person, so I am trying to dial it back because I'm always like watching streams of people who have their stuff together and they're kind of more calm, and so I'm just going to I'm trying to play it calm. Plus I'm real nervous, and so if I try to be calm, I'll make a little bit more sense because I tend to talk a lot of just babble, like right now. So Shannon, are you there, Shannon? Who is Shannon? Oh, Ellen's. Okay, that's Ellen. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so Shannon, I guess you're watching. Shannon, our backer, we mentioned earlier, backed us at $500, which got him his likeness in the game. He may or may not appear in the game as Bennett, but that's what we're doing with this live stream. He may be added to the pool of zombie bait. Maybe both. Well, we kind of haven't decided that yet, but it's definitely going to be in there. I don't. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that we really haven't decided on, but all right. Let's get rid of this red. My eyes are bleeding now. Ooh, it's not what I wanted. Okay. That's not what I wanted either. Let's see. My hotkeys are not set up right. Okay. There we go. I'm trying to decide if I want to put a little bit more color into this guy's outfit. He's just he's got just black and gray. Which is fitting, I guess, for a bad guy. Sort of has that very evil look. He looks like I don't know. Bennett is a crazy character. I don't know. I think the funniest thing about Bennett is like in any other movie, he would like come off as a total badass, right? But then you put him up against Schwarzenegger, and it's just, come on, there's no contest there. It's just no contest. I mean, not that I'm a huge fan of. I mean, I like Schwarzenegger in action movies. It's just, I mean, Bennett and Schwarzenegger. Come on. I mean, Bennett should have just ran out of the room the second the fight started, just because he's like, oh man, they put me against Schwarzenegger. I gotta go. No contest. One thing that I got to be careful about is not to like. So one of the things I find is that like as I'm drawing and erasing stuff, you can see like there's these pixels over here, and if those pixels don't get nicely erased and they end up somehow on the texture sheet, they end up messing up the texture clipping in Unity. Those extra pixels will kind of, well, I don't know how to describe it, but they'll mess things up a little bit, make things less efficient. So I gotta be careful not to have those extra pixels hanging out. Let's see. That's what it is, Sean. That's exactly what I was talking about. Sprite optimization. Thanks. Could you also do me a favor and get me some more get me more coffee and warm that up? Thanks. Alright, I got distracted there for a second. I'm eating a little bit of food. And I was reading your comments. How are we doing? What's the Kickstarter numbers, guys? If it's polite to ask. Oh my god, 15 backers from 1,000. That's awesome. Holy cow. That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh wait. No. No, what am I doing? That's not what I want. Alright, there we go. That's good enough. Alright, let's do some shading. So, you'll see I do is I'll pick, thank you Jess, I'll pick color from the body, and I press the key. I have some hotkeys set to pick a lighter and darker color that, or shade of that same color, and so the other thing I'll do, I'll show you something interesting, is add another layer and add a multiply layer. And so this is one way that I can get some quick shading in there. So while keeping the colors. So I just go in and what I really should do though is go back in here and what? That. I should turn this layer to overlay. Okay. Switch back to me airbrush. Sorry, okay. So overlay works by brighten. I shouldn't try to technically describe what overlay does, but it brightens it brightens with a lighter color and it darkens with a darker color, I guess. So, which is kind of a stupid description, I guess. That kind of repeat myself through that, but or it's sort of obvious, I suppose. Anyways, I guess all I'm trying to do here is add some shading without changing the base color, so I don't have to go in and worry about that. Except for then once I'm done with that, I'll just merge it down and I can do some more painting. I really love this paintbrush in Krita. It's a blending brush and it's painting so fast. Always make the lines darker than the main color. That's our style. Let's go ahead and do the boots. I think I'm going to turn off those sketch marks too. It's kind of distracting and we don't need them anymore really. THQ's UDraw tablet. Well, I kind of checked that out, and it was interesting, but I thought that is this Ian? I'm guessing, because I'm guessing that's you, because I don't know anyone else who's talked about that in recent times. I looked at that, and I just felt like after it's cheap, but I think that it doesn't read like it's pressure sensitive, and I think that for not too much more, there are some off-brand Chinese tablets you can get that are more capable, as well as even it's really worth getting the Wacom for $80 or $90. I would say. I have owned an inexpensive tablet before, and it worked pretty well. And I think that they've gotten much better in the last couple of years. There's a couple of brands that are really well known. That they're actually some competition for Wacom now. But I would personally recommend if you're serious about doing some art on the computer, I would recommend at least, or giving it a try even, like I would recommend spending the $90. I mean, yeah, to get the functionality of a Wacom, but like I said, there are some other brands, some other Chinese brands out there that are supposedly pretty good. Especially, I'm kind of interested is there's a number of Cintiq competitors out there, which I'm very interested to try out for $600 rather than $600 rather than the Cintiqs, which are like $1,300 or $2,000. It's kind of ridiculous how much they want for those things. So. Oh, interesting. So someone else uses the. I mean, if it works for you, then great. I'm the kind of person who likes to experiment with a lot of different things, and I like to do hacky sort of stuff. I like to use, like I pointed out earlier, I like to use the open source software, which to a lot of people is too much effort, but. I think that I only briefly looked into the UDraw tablet, and I guess, like I said, the main thing is the lack of pressure sensitivity that I guess it has. It has, yeah. Anyway, I won't go on because I don't know too much more about it. Oops, of course. Gotcha. Yeah, the Wacom Bamboo I think is a good piece of kit. I used to use the equivalent back in the day that was even less capable, and it was decent. I mean, the only thing you're dealing with is a smaller size touch.